Today I want to talk about some of the very simple instruments that I performed and recorded myself for the soundtrack to Moss Book 2, and how I used effects to transform them into more unique, sometimes even otherworldly kinds of sounds. Let's start with the opening chord at the very beginning of the video. What do you think that was? Was it a string section, a synthesizer, or a synthesizer playing string sounds? That sort of ambiguity was what I was looking for with a lot of these live instruments in Moss Book 2. It serves the story because things start getting a little questionable. Even gravity starts doing its own thing towards the end of the game. I wanted the instruments and the way the instruments sounded to reflect this as we move through the game. So that opening sound is just me playing solo cello on 4 different notes, 4 different takes with a single note on each take. Let's take a look in Cubase at the original session. So here we have at the very top, the first 4 are the individual cello parts that I played. Let's go ahead and listen to them one at a time so you can hear the original mic and what it recorded. And here's what it sounds like with all 4 playing at the same time. Now I liked the chord, but I wanted to give it an otherworldly sound. So what I did was I ran it through my favorite guitar pedal for reverb, the Strymon Big Sky. I almost always have this pedal set to some sort of a shimmer, and I dial in the seconds depending on how much reverb I want there to be after the note plays. Believe it or not, it goes all the way up to, I think, 30 seconds, which I have used before. Here's the exact same cello part with the Strymon Big Sky. In the end, I decided I wanted to have some of the original strings in there as well, so I blended it back in, sort of a 40-60 dry-wet ratio. This next example is from a different track, and I specifically remember working on it because I was thinking, I need like a pad, like something mysterious, kind of paddy that can do a really slow pitch bend, but not like a keyboard pitch bend that sounds very kind of linear and wow 80s. I wanted it to be mysterious pitch bend, and I kept thinking, well, I want it to be a pitch bend like a guitar, and then light bulb. So I got out my Strat, plugged it in, just DI'd it straight in through a mic preamp, did exactly what I was hearing in my head for the pitch bend, and then put, again, my favorite reverb on it, the Strymon Big Sky. We're back in Cubase, and up here on top we have the original DI guitar part, which sounds like this. Now you may notice that these 2 different notes are being performed at 2 different rhythms. That doesn't really matter because I'm going 100% wet into the Big Sky, no original dry signal, and what you get is this beautiful reverb. As good as it sounds on single notes because of that shimmer effect adding octaves, it also sounds amazing on power chords or open fifths. Here's a preview of the full track. One of the things that's really fun about doing this kind of sound design is it's actually a lot easier when you're using effects that are taking up that much space in the sound. I find myself playing a lot more simply and a lot more basic in terms of notes, harmony, or rhythm, and I let the effect sort of do its thing. Now, a great example of that would be a lot of the percussion that I played in Moss Book 2. Here's one look at a bodhrán part. When it gets to the point where I'm using this new effect to make the bodhrán sound sort of otherworldly, I play a lot more simply. It's almost like half notes, just keeping the beat, because I knew that the effect was going to be filling in all the holes. So for the effect on the bodhrán, I used another one of my favorite effects, the Zen delay. And it's this amazing stereo delay that is also tube-driven and has an incredible filter, and I had it set to do a ping pong and just fill in all the extra space that I was not playing with the actual drum. I'm going to feed that bodhrán part into the Zen delay. Let's listen to just the delay and hear what it does with the echoes and the ping pong stereo. And here it is with the original bodhrán part mixed in. So we've covered reverb and shimmer reverb and some delay, and I want to do one more delay through one of my favorite pedals, the Eventide H9. It's got a really amazing reverse delay that I used towards the end of the game when things were literally turning upside down in Moss Book 2. So I use this almost exclusively on ukulele, and given the complexity of the delay and the reverse kind of things that were happening, I knew that the chords and the things I was playing on the ukulele needed to be as simple as possible. And here's what it sounds like going through the Eventide H9. Put them together and you get my musical interpretation of a world literally turned upside down. You don't need external pedals or effects to do things like this. I can promise you whatever DAW you're using right now has all the effects that you need to recreate these kinds of sounds. The biggest question is, what do you want it to sound like, and how is it appropriate for your particular project?